Hello everyone. Welcome to class. I'm Miss Faust. Welcome. Please make sure you have paper handy and a pen or a pencil because I have some notes that you need to jot down. Yes, we are moving away from Ruby Dee to another writer. Well, this was actually a poet. So yes, the short story. Bye-bye for now. Poem. Hi. So are you ready? You're ready? Okay, let's do this. Come and follow me over to the board. Okay, our writer is Gwendolyn Brooks. These are her years. Please make sure you do copy this down. She is a renowned black female poet. Okay, she is the first African American to receive the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry, and she received it in 1950. That is a very important prize. The Pulitzer isn't just handed out for writing a poem. You have to be really good at your work. Okay, it is named after a newspaper man, or you can say journalist, whose name was Pulitzer. Okay, so this is quite an honor. She's known for her descriptions of African American city life. Yes, indeed. She is known for that. You've got to understand, again, she is an African American. Her strength will be anything related to the African American way of thinking, living, so on and so on and so on. Okay? So yes, she does focus on African Americans and their problems. Okay? Just a little bit of background before we move on is when she was really young, she came from a very poor family, and she was a very shy girl. And kids would make fun of her because of her shyness and because they thought she didn't exactly look like she's supposed to and the like. And so she was really hurt by that. So she turned to writing, and that's how she began writing. And so by the time she hit 16, she had written, by the age of 16, she had written over 75 poems. Okay. So that's quite an accomplishment, isn't it? And again, yes, she does focus on African Americans. As I said, that is her strength. Quite heavily on African American women. Okay. How do I want to say this? She focuses not just on women, but she also, in a way, focuses on the roles of mothers, fathers, and children. Again, in the African American family. Okay, so yes, that is what she does write about. Okay. She tended, when she was younger, to write in such a way that some people found it a bit of a challenge to understand what she was trying to say. She used lofty word choices. And if you're very lofty in your writing or even in your speech, it tends to be very flowery, and quite often it can be difficult to understand. Okay, so yes, it is a challenge. So when she was informed of that, hey, you're a wonderful writer, but you could get more people to enjoy your writing if you would just not write like that. Okay, so she went into the more simple writing style, and boy, that did make a positive difference. Okay, so she began to favor what we call the free verse. And with poetry, if you're into free verse, you don't look for any kind of structure. You don't try to make it little stanzas of 4 lines, another little stanza of 4 lines. You don't look for rhyme or anything. You just throw out what it is that you want to write about. And of course, a lot of it is very emotional, okay, what you have to share with your reader. So she went into free verse. Okay, and again, it made a difference. It sort of enlarge the audience because more people would be able to understand. Okay? She was considered by a critic a chronicler. Chronicler, challenging word. In other words, a record keeper of Black life, specifically Black life on the south side of Chicago. Okay. That is basically, let me check here toward the end. Her later years, she basically spent her life in Chicago. So, she had her home in Chicago, and she's connected with that location. Okay. So she shares what life is for African Americans in that specific area. Okay. Do you have any questions about her? She's quite fascinating, Gwendolyn Brooks. What I could add to her being a poet, she was also a teacher. I'm referring to some notes here. Or I should say, well, a teacher or like an instructor, because she taught more at the higher levels, which would be like colleges and the like. Okay. No questions. Okay. Since there are no questions, we will move on. Okay. So she's somewhat different from Ruby Dee, isn't she? Yes. Okay. You will be reading the poem, The Bean Eaters. So please keep that in mind. Your focus this time around is on Gwendolyn Brooks and her poem, The Bean Eaters. Here is one website or link, if you so choose, that you can go to find her poem. Or you can always Google text to Gwendolyn Brooks or text to Brooks's The Bean Eaters, and you would be able to pull up various sources, and you just pick on one, and hopefully you get that poem. Okay, it's not a long poem. Okay, I think you'll find it interesting. Again, we're talking about an African American writer in the sense of poet. So she will be more or less focusing on the African American way of life, okay, and characters and so on. Again, as I said, I think you'll find it interesting. She has a lot to say in that poem. So please keep that in mind. So you have your choice. Use that one or Google your own version of the poem. Okay, let's turn over to our assignment section. It's a two-part. Please read the poem, and next class period, I will go over it, like always, highlights and all, in preparation for the next essay. I know you're looking forward to that. Yeah. So please read the poem today, and I'd like you to copy this. Again, however you do, put a pause on to copy all this material. Okay. Copy these 3 questions that you'll be able to answer after having read the poem. Copy those questions, and make sure I see the question along with the answers. So we have, who are the characters in this poem? Yes, poetry does include characters at times. What is the couple eating? And name one image used. Please remember, when we talk about image, we're talking about imagery, the visual pictures. So what kind of visual do you get in that poem, in her poem, okay? Again, who are the characters in this poem? What is the couple eating? Name one, just one, image used, obviously, in the poem. If you happen to have any questions whatsoever about Gwendolyn Brooks or the poem, please contact me. Otherwise, this assignment is due today, so make sure that as soon as you're done with it, you send it on off to me. And I hope you have a superb day. Till next class time, bye-bye.